Scammers are shifting their strategies, and it really seems to be paying off. They're following the money and successfully cashing in on their victims.
Yeah, and unless you know what to look for, you could be next. Denise Alvarez, Director of Operations at the BBB, and Irene Manzanito, the Director of Finance and HR at the Better Business Bureau, are both here to tell us to protect us. So there seems like they always pop up with new ones. And yet again, is that what we're seeing now? New scams?
Absolutely. So the scammers, they're very smart, savvy business people. So as consumers shift to online platforms such as social media, Craigslist, and other items like that, so are they. They follow the money.
Yeah, those platforms are always advancing, but like you said, so are the tactics that these scammers are using. So what are the newest forms that we're seeing of these scams?
Actually, the newest forms is social media. So whenever the consumer clicks directly using those links, the likelihood of them being scammed is really, really high.
So can you give us an example of what we should be looking for? So say I'm just scrolling through my Facebook feed, what's going to jump out at me, or maybe it doesn't?
Exactly. So many times what happens is that consumers do not even know that the site is fake. So that is how they get the individual to engage and actually send them the money.
How successful have these new approaches been? What kind of numbers are we seeing?
Astronomical. Oh my gosh. Our research shows us that of the ones that took the survey, 91% do not know that when they're using a social media platform, 91% do not know that it's fake.
Wow.
And of those, 53% get scammed.
And sometimes they're not even asking for your social security number. I think we've all been trained in years past, if somebody calls you and they say, oh, we need this information, like, no, nobody needs to know that information, not even your bank over the phone. So that's the stuff that we're accustomed to. And again, this is all new. So how do they play out? How do they get your money?
So definitely we've been seeing more scams on social media. But recently we've been seeing that the most lucrative sites are actually eBay and Craigslist. For example, they sell a car. It's a 2018 and they're only asking for $2,000. And they'll let you know that they want to sell it because their husband passed away, they're getting deployed. We had a consumer who just recently went through this. And so they start asking, questions and asking for your information. And what they did is they used a eBay buyer protection warranty. And that's how they get consumers to send in their money.
Got it. They're using these scare tactics. Well, not so much. They're trying to tug at your heartstrings, basically, right? And they're trying to manipulate you into taking these deals that you think you justify it to yourself, right?
Exactly.
They give you the story.
Yes, they give you the story. It makes sense to you.
Right.
And the consumer luckily actually contacted the Better Business Bureau and didn't send the money and actually deleted all of the emails that she received.
Oh, good.
Yes, but we also saw some on social media. Another consumer clicked on an ad that said that a scooter for her husband was only $100. And so she said, this is a deal. So she ordered it, and then they got a plastic scooter, about this big in the mail.
But they sound legitimate, some of these. I mean, when you say, oh, I'm being deployed, you think, okay, well, or I've gone through a divorce and I need to get rid of this, or I'm moving, and sometimes like, oh, I've done my homework, I've asked all the questions. So what should, if you do fall victim, what should you do?
Like you said, you ask all the questions, or you feel like you've asked all the questions, but if you feel rushed, or if you feel like they just don't leave you alone, like this one with the Craigslist, the lady kept contacting the consumer. Yeah, those are definitely red flags. And then I also think that consumers should think about, you wouldn't buy a car at a dealership, without test driving it. Correct. So you do the same thing with Craigslist. You just start to think about what you would do in person, and the fact that it's online, don't let that pressure you into buying it.
Use some common sense, right?
Correct.
I mean, I think these days we've been kind of fooled and lulled into a sense of security with these websites. Even though they're legitimate websites, there's still people wanting to do harm to other people on these sites, and you have to use your best judgment. And so it really is great that the BBB is sort of that shield for people, giving out all this information. Otherwise, we wouldn't know. Right?
Correct. And like we said, just do your homework. Phone calls, they've transitioned from phone calls over to social media. So if you see something on an ad and you want to purchase it, instead of clicking on the ad, go ahead and go to the website and make sure that it is on sale.
Right. Yeah, the other thing too, when you said that there are so many people who are being victimized, there are a lot of people out there who don't say that they're being victimized because they get embarrassed about it. So it might be an even higher number. And so if they are, I'm sure you would like to hear from them as well.
Of course, that's how we educate consumers and we stop these scammers. We can't go after them because they change their tactics so quickly. So the way that we help consumers is by providing this information. So if they go to bbb.org/scam tracker, they can report that online.
A lot
Great
of
resource.
important information. Thanks to both of you.
Thank you.
Thank
Nice
you.
to see you. The last networking mixer of 2019 is coming up November 19th at Brother John's from 5 to 7 p.m. If you want to learn more, head over to bbb.org or call 520-888-6161.